अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते बई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। मोक्ष मार्गस्य नेतारं भेतारं कर्म भूभृतां ज्ञातारं विश्वतत्त्वानां वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये. So we continue with Tattvar Sutra by Acharya Umaswamy, and we are doing again the first chapter, and yesterday we left at page number 40. Okay, so today we'll begin with that. Darshadi, are you sharing?
Jinendra, yes, I have shared. I think, I don't know if students can see it or. Great, thanks.
I'm getting two screens, but where do I get the full screen?
Can you see it?
Yeah, now everybody can see it? Yes, fine. So, this is from where we need to start. So, yesterday we were discussing out of the 5 knowledge, sensory knowledge, scriptural knowledge, clairvoyance and telepathy. These 4 we have discussed. Today we are going to discuss the omniscience knowledge. Omniscience knowledge is Keval Gyan, is defined as the perfect and passionless knowledge arising from destruction of knowledge obscuring karmas. Okay. So Jnana Varna karma completely destroyed. Knowledge obscuring karma completely destroyed. So we have manifested omniscience knowledge, complete knowledge, perfect knowledge, which knows at all times and simultaneously the entire universe across past, present, and future, including all substances, all their qualities or attributes, and all their modification and viewpoint relative attributes. Okay, all this is seen in the omniscience knowledge simultaneously. There is no gap, In one moment, everything is known in the omniscient knowledge, the complete knowledge. Now, the question. So, Darshiti, you have to remove this 3 lines. Sir, I wish to ask. Yes. Yes. Since the mind and senses are instrumental in sensory knowledge, and telepathic knowledge also deals with psychic objects, what is the fundamental difference between the two? Okay. So in telepathy also we know the psychic objects reflecting in the minds of the other, and here in the sensory knowledge also, because mind is again an instrumental cause, so through mind we also know the psychic objects. So what is the difference between the two? So the obvious difference that comes to our mind is that sensory knowledge is direct or indirect knowledge?
Indirect knowledge.
Indirect knowledge, very good. And telepathy is a direct or indirect?
Direct knowledge.
direct. So this is the basic difference. Okay. Sensory knowledge is indirect, valid, comprehensive, valid knowledge because it is dependent on the assistance of external instruments such as the senses and the mind. So it's an indirect knowledge. Okay. Yes. In contrast, telepathic knowledge is considered direct. You can remove that bracket. It's a direct, comprehensive, valid knowledge. Is a direct, comprehensive, valid knowledge because it functions without the slightest need for assistance from external objects like the senses, etc. So senses and mind. In its context, not only one's own thoughts, but the psychic activity, vikalp, present in the mind of another soul also become the object of knowledge. That also reflects in our knowledge. So this was about telepathy. So the basic difference is one is a direct knowledge, another one is a indirect knowledge. That is only the difference. Now we move further. Thus these four sutras from Tattva Sutra chapter 1, 9 to 12 simply establish that sensory knowledge, scriptural knowledge, clairvoyant, telepathic, and omniscience are the 5 types of knowledge. So are the 5 types of right knowledge. Okay. You add word right. Are the 5 types of right knowledge. And as all 5 are forms of right, again knowledge, they are all considered comprehensive, valid knowledge. So comprehensive, valid knowledge is right knowledge, and so it means the same. Now, we move further. Direct, that is pratyaksh. Indirect is paroksh, are the 2 forms of comprehensive, valid knowledge. The first 2, sensory knowledge and scriptural knowledge, are indirect means of knowledge, while the latter 3, clairvoyant, telepathy, and omniscience, are direct means of knowledge. This all we discussed yesterday. Nothing new about this. Although, here in the Tattva Sutra, sensory knowledge and scriptural knowledge are referred to as indirect knowledge. Still, in the discipline of logic, what is this discipline of logic? The scriptures that were written on the logic, that is what they mean. Okay. So in Nyaya Shastra, discipline of logic, there is a category known as conventional direct knowledge, not perception, but knowledge. Okay. Yeah. Everywhere you do it, knowledge. So it is not real direct knowledge, but a conventional direct knowledge. So anything known through the senses, okay, is an indirect knowledge. That is the fact. But still, in the court of law, like if somebody commits a murder, then the court asks the person who is standing for witness as a witness. Then he says, no, I saw through my eyes he killed him. Okay. So in that sense, it is again a direct knowledge because I have seen through my eyes that this fellow killed this person. Okay. So from that sense, this is called conventional direct knowledge. It is not direct knowledge in the real sense, but conventionally it is called direct knowledge. So in Hindi it is called samvyavaharik pratyaksh. Okay. प्रत्यक्ष नहीं है बट व्यवहार से प्रत्यक्ष कहा जाता है. It is not a direct knowledge, but it is being called a direct knowledge from the conventional perspective. Okay, some vyavaharik pratyaks, which is also called direct sensory knowledge. Indriya Pratyaks. I saw through my eyes. So that is Indriya Pratyaksh. Okay. Similarly, according to spiritual philosophy means Adhyatam Shastra, Dravyanyog, there exists direct experience through self-realization. Okay. So in Dravyanyog or in the spiritual philosophy, there exists direct experience through self-realization. That is called Swanubhuti Pratyaksh. Swanubhuti Pratyaksh, or it is also called Swasamvedan Pratyaksh. Okay. So it is direct, but from the point of view of feeling. Okay. So when you realize yourself, what is the checking point for you? You are just experiencing the eternal bliss, which is unperturbed. The sensory bliss that we had are all perturbed. There is an anxiety along with that happiness. But this eternal bliss, eternal happiness is unperturbed. Okay. So that is the basic difference. So it is called Swanubhuti Pratyaks, direct experience through self-realization. Okay. Both these types of direct knowledge, Samvyavarik Pratyaks and Swanubhuti Pratyaks, pertain to those who possesses sensory and scriptural knowledge. Okay. So these two can have this Sambhavrik Pratyaks also and Swanubhuti Pratyaks also. Next.
Excuse me,
Yes.
Jinendra. That are they saying that sensory knowledge and spiritual knowledge can be called as conventional knowledge, conventional pratyaksh knowledge based on Nyaya Shastra and spiritual philosophy. That is what they are concluding in this paragraph.
Yes, yes. So from so this Sambhavrik Pratyaks pertain to those who possesses sensory and scriptural knowledge. Okay. Sambhavrik Pratyaks is only for those people who are having sensory and scriptural, not for the clairvoyance and telepathy and omniscience. Okay. And this Swanubhuti Pratyaks is also pertaining to those who possess sensory and scriptural knowledge. Okay. So Mati Shrut Gyan, this is basically Mati Shrut Gyan. So Mati Shrut Gyan is also, it can also have this conventional direct knowledge, Samvyavarik Pratyaksh. Okay.
Thank you, Ji.
The soul is also referred to as knower, not perceiver, but knower. Although perceiver also means knower, but perceiver we generally refer to as darshan, samanya avlokan. So Knower, knower. Okay, fine. The soul is referred to as knower, aksha. In Hindi it is called aksha. And the senses are also termed the perceiver, knower. The knowledge that directly arises from knower, that is the pure soul, meaning from the soul. Okay. Without the aid of senses, light, or any external medium. Okay. Without the help of senses, light, or any external medium is called as direct knowledge. Okay. Because it is not taking any help from any other objects. It's called direct knowledge from the real viewpoint. And the knowledge that is obtained with the existence nimit of the senses is also conventionally referred to as direct knowledge. Samvyavarik Pratyaks, also called as sensory knowledge. One more word you need to add. Conventionally referred to as conventional direct knowledge. Yes. There you add word conventional direct knowledge. Sam vyavaharik pratyaks. In the same way, when sensory knowledge though generally classified as indirect knowledge becomes free from psychic activity, nirvikalp, and without the assistance of the senses or external light, directly knows the soul and recognizes and believes, not accepts, believes it as one's own true nature. Believes it as one's own true nature, then it is called direct self-realized knowledge. Swanubhav pratyaksh. Direct self-realized knowledge. Okay. So when the psychic activity is not there in the mind, okay, then it is called direct self-realized knowledge. Otherwise, all the time thoughts are going on. Okay. So when at the time of self-realization, there is no psychic activity. Okay. It becomes free from psychic activity. And that is the time it is called direct self-realized knowledge. In this manner, a general discussion on direct knowledge and indirect knowledge has been presented. Further, ahead, these topics will be discussed in detail at their appropriate places. So this is the end of 9th to 12th. Now we move on to the 13th sutra. Sensory knowledge, mati gyan. Okay. So mati gyan extends from 13 to 19. In 7 sutras, everything concerning the sensory knowledge, mati gyan, would be explained. So from the 9th to the 12th aphorism, a general discussion was presented on the 5 types of knowledge, along with their distinctions such as direct and indirect. Now in the 7 sutras from 13 to 19, specific details are provided concerning sensory knowledge. Among these 7, the first, that is 13th sutra, is as follows. Mati, smriti, sangya, chinta, abhinibodha, itya, anarthantaram. Okay. Mati means sensory cognition. You write down. Mati means sensory cognition. That means knowledge through the senses and mind. Okay. Knowledge through the senses and mind is called mati, sensory cognition. Then we have smriti, S-M-R-T-I. R is missing. Yes. Smriti is called memory or recollection. Recollection would be a better word. You write down memory or recollection. Okay. Then the third one is Sangana. M is missing. S-A-M-J-N-A. This is perfectly called recognition. The alternate name is, in Hindi it is Pratyabhigyan. Okay. And English would be connecting knowledge. Connecting knowledge. Yes. Then the next is Chinta. Chinta. It is also called Tark. In Hindi it is called Tark. In English it is, the other name is logic. I will give you one more good name. 1 minute. Reasoning. Thought or reflection, logic, reasoning. Okay. So you can remove thought or reflection. Yes, this too is fine. And the last one is Abhinibodh. Abhinibodh, very few places this word is used. Most of the time it is used Anuman. Right?
நியூயார்க்ல கூட சமையலும் பிரச்சனையாங்க.
Pardon?
அதெல்லாம் எதுவும் ஆகுமா எதுவும் மணி பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. நீ சொல்லிதான் நான் போவேனே ஆபீஸ்.
ஆமா, ஆனா நான் 2 நாள் லீவ்ல ஜாலிதான். இன்னைக்கு காலையில எப்படி
Yes. So Abhinibodh is called Anuman, very famous name, Anuman. All the time it is Anuman. And in English, it will be inference. Just use one word everywhere, inference. I-N-F-E-R-E-N-C-E. Okay, fine. Inference. Okay. So now we have 5 different names for sensory knowledge. Mati, that is sensory cognition. Then we have smriti, which is memory or recollection, right? Memory or recollection. Then we have sangya. Sangya is recognition or connecting knowledge. Then we have sangya is also called in Hindi pratyabhigyan. P-R-A-T-Y, pratyabhi, B-H-I, pratyabhigyan, G-Y-A-N. Yes. Great. Okay. So you can remove the bracket for pratyabhigyan because it's a Hindi word only and sangya is also a Hindi word. So you can remove that. Yeah. Sangya or. You can write down or. Oblique. You can put an oblique. Yes, that's fine. Okay. Then we have this chinta. Chinta is logic or reasoning. And last one is Abhinibodh or Anuman, inference. Okay. Although their forms and functions may appear distinct, in all of them, the inner instrumental cause is the subsidence cum destruction, sharpsham, of the karmic obstruction to sense-based knowledge. Mati, Jnana, Varana, Karma. Okay. Mati, Jnana, Varana, Karma. Therefore, these are regarded as just different names for sensory knowledge. Okay. So we will see the connection. There is a logical sequence being said here that we are going to discuss later on. Let the other aphorisms come and then we will discuss. Then reflective contemplation is called mati. Then recalling is smriti. Then knowledge in the form of recognition or identification is, so now they have given pratyabhigyan or sangya. Knowledge of universal pervasion, vyapti gyan, is tarka or chinta, inference-based reasoning. We can simply call it as, I think we have given this name as logic or reasoning. Logic or reasoning. So reasoning is already there. If we can remove inference-based reasoning, you can put it as reasoning. Yes. Logic or reasoning. Yes. Fine. And then the last one is inferential knowledge, which is inference only, right? Anuman Gyan, they have written here. So Abhinibodh and Anuman is same. In the Nyaya Shastra, particularly in the 3rd chapter of the aphoristic treatise Pariksha Mukh, written by Acharya Manikyanandi, The discussion of these terms, mati, smriti, etc., is elaborated in detail. So yesterday I shared you one dictionary by Kirit Bhai Gosalia from USA. In that he has elaborately explained all these. You can refer to that page number 130, 130 to 134, maybe 3-4 pages. You just go through that, you will better understand this, all the 5. The 4 subtypes of Mati Gyan. Now this is another way of dividing Mati Gyan. Okay. So this is Avgraha. Avgraha is initial grasp or apprehension. Avgraha, initial grasp or apprehension. Or. Yes. Then the second is Iha. Iha is Hindi word. Iha in English would be curiosity. You can write inside the bracket curiosity. Yeah. Okay, fine. This is good. Effort to attain specific characteristics of the object cognized by Avgraha. So in the first step, you are knowing that there is something. Then there is a curiosity, what it is. Then the third one is Avai. Avai means judgment. You can cancel all these. Avai is judgment. You can write one word only, judgment. So now you perfectly know what it is, because here the judgment has been taken that it is this. Now I'll give you one example from the earlier textbook that we had, So first, in the first case, Avgraha, viewing any white object is Avgraha. Now curiosity grew, so that is desire to know what it is. That is the second step, Iha. Then the third step, by the movement of feather, knowing it to be a bird. Okay, so initially it was white, then the curiosity, and then the decision that it is a bird. How do you know that it is a bird? By the movement of feather, knowing it to be a bird. So avai. And dharna. The last one is dharna. Dharna's good name would be retention. Okay, only retention. So dharna, whatever comes to dharna is called, you never forget it. Okay. Otherwise we forget. So we have to pass on these 3-4 stages. Okay. First one is avgraha, that is initial grasp or apprehension. Then iha, curiosity, judgment, then retention. Until and unless it goes up to retention, you are likely to forget it. But once if it goes to retention, then you never forget it. So whatever comes to our memory is only that portion which goes up to dharana. Sometimes what happens, first of all, apprehension happens, then curiosity happens, then it stops. It doesn't go further. Okay. Then sometimes it goes further and goes up to judgment. And then sometimes it goes up to retention. Okay. So this is all happening in the sensory knowledge. Okay. As in a laptop or a computer desktop, we have one processor. Okay. That processor is doing all the functions. Similarly, in our soul, we have a processor called sensory knowledge. And there all these functions goes on happening all the time. Okay. It is processing all the knowledge that is coming into first impression, then curiosity, then judgment, and then retention. Okay. This is the process. The one that reaches up to retention, that only will come back to memory. Okay. Memory. And then another process will start that we will discuss later on. So when sensory knowledge acquired through sensory perception and under the alternative name mati progresses through the stages of avgraha, iha, avai, dharana. Now you have to change the words that we chose earlier. Now you can write that apprehension, initial grasp would be apprehension. Although initial grasp also justifies the meaning, but apprehension would be a good word. Then iha would be curiosity. Then avai is judgment. And the last one is dharana, retention. Simply retention. Then at a later time, its recollection is called smruti. So you see, before smruti, all these four things happen. Okay. So this is the process of our working of our sensory knowledge. Very interesting. Once you understand it, then everything happens automatically and you are free to enjoy eternal bliss. But once you have to understand this whole process. Thus, contemplating in order to determine the nature of a substance is mati, and when the object known through dharana reappears in knowledge, that is recollection, memory. Okay, so what word we used? Recollection. Okay, so recollection. We use also recollection word. We chose recollection. Okay, so the one which has got up to the retention level, then at a later time it comes to smriti or recollection, and from recollection, then contemplating in order to determine the nature of substance is mati, and when the object is known through dharana reappears in knowledge, that is recollection, smruti. Further, when the mati gyan links past sensory perception with present sensory perception through the medium of memory, then the knowledge that arises from the fact of synthesis is called recognition. Okay, pratyabhigyan, recognition, also known as sangya. So pratyabhigyan, sangya, and recognition. We use the word recognition. Okay, recognition. So what happens in recognition? Recognition is also called connecting knowledge. So you have memory in your mind, okay, and above that you are looking at it directly right now. So direct knowledge, that is again a conventional knowledge, okay. Conventional direct knowledge plus memory is recognition. Now this recognition is of 5 types, okay, that is being explained here. This is the same as what I had seen earlier, okay. So this is the same. So this is the same. This means you are also looking at right now. And what you had seen earlier is your memory. So direct present knowledge plus memory is called recognition. So this is the first type of recognition called ekatva. Ekatva is oneness. Oneness recognition. Let me see what we have given. I don't think it's here. Okay. So it is oneness recognition. Okay. Then number 2, recognition by resemblance. This is similar to that. So this is again the present knowledge, and similar to that, the one that you have seen in the past. Okay. So it is called recognition by resemblance. Resemblance. Sadrasya pratyabhigyan ekatva sraddasya. Vilaksha. Recognition by dissimilarity. This is distinct from or opposite to that. Okay. So recognition by dissimilarity. This is distinct from or opposite to that. Then the fourth one, recognition by spatial distinction. This is farther than that or at a different location. It is also called comparative. When you are comparing two things, then also it is called recognition by spatial distinction. And the last one is recognition by general classification or universal. Samanya Pratibhigyan, general classification. This is a tree. Okay. When on the basis of perception, okay, perception means here the present knowledge, okay. You want to write, you can write down. Perception is here knowledge, present knowledge. Yes. When on the basis of perception, pratyaks, memory, then recognition, we formulate such universal rules as wherever there is smoke, there must certainly be fire. Now this is I would say, I think it is called concomitance. Concomitance. That word will come later on, but wherever there is a smoke, there must certainly be a fire. So this is the relationship being established, and this is called concomitance. Spelling is correct? Darshiji, spelling is correct? Yeah, now it is correct, right? Okay. So this is called concomitance. When there is a smoke, there must certainly be fire. And wherever there is no fire, there is no smoke either. So one is a positive relationship, another one is a negative relationship. So one would be a positive concomitance and the other would be a negative concomitance. These kind of rules are called knowledge of perversion or invariable concomitance. So now the word has come. Invariable concomitance. So I think it is single T only, right? And single M. In Hindi, it is called Vyapti Gyan. Vyapti means pervasion. Okay. So knowledge of pervasion is Vyapti Gyan and it is called invariable concomitance. This knowledge of pervasion is called logical reasoning, tark. Okay. Logical reasoning, tark. And is also referred to as chinta, inference-based reflection. But what we had used for chinta, we had used the word reasoning. Okay. Reasoning is also referred to as reasoning. You cancel inference, everything you cancel. Yes, simply reasoning. Yes. And the tark would be what we have used for tark. Tark we have used reasoning. Okay, fine. Logical reasoning is okay. And sorry. Tark and chinta are the same. Sorry. The knowledge of perversion is called logical reasoning, tark, and is also referred to as reasoning. Logical reasoning or reasoning is same. Tark and chinta are same. Okay. So you can, okay, let it be. From this knowledge of perversion based reasoning, the conclusion that is established is called inference, anuman. Okay. So from this knowledge of perversion, where there is no fire, there is no smoke. Wherever there is smoke, there must certainly be fire. This is the statement, okay? So from this knowledge of perversion based reasoning, The conclusion that is established is called inference, anuman. And that very inference is also termed as inferential cognition or abhinibodh. Anuman or abhinibodh is same. Okay. To know the sadhya, that which is to be proved, the target, from the sadhan, the means, okay, is called inference. साध्य से साधन से साध्य का ज्ञान. ठीक है, साधन से साध्य का ज्ञान. To know the sadhya from the means, to know the sadhya from the means is called inference. For example, there is fire on this mountain because there is a smoke upon it. Wherever there is smoke, there must be fire, like in a kitchen. And wherever there is no fire, there is no smoke, like in a pond. Since there is smoke on this mountain, there must be fire. So all these statements are examples of inference. This is a complete and perfect example of inference. So now, inferential knowledge. Okay. So this inferential knowledge or inference is of two types, Swarthanuman and Pararthanuman. When one uses a known sign or reason. Okay. So what would we suggest here is when one uses a reason to know the goal is sadhya. Okay. By oneself, it is called personal inference. Self-inference. Personal inference named Swa. Swa is self-inference. Okay. So you are not taking any outside help. Okay. When one uses a reason, you cut down known sign. It is confusing. Yes. When one uses a reason, sadhan, to know the goal, sadhya, by oneself, it is called personal inference, personal or self-inference, Swarthanuma. Self-inference. Okay, fine. Then Pararthanuman. What is Pararthanuman? When the knowledge of the goal is derived through inference based on another person's instruction or teaching, it is called inference from others. Okay. So that was inference from self. This is inference from others. Note, Swarthanuman falls under sensory knowledge, Mati Gyan, while Pararthanuman is classified under scriptural knowledge. Okay, scriptural knowledge, Srudgyan. So the inference done to understand oneself is Swarthanuman. The inference used to explain to others is Pararthanuman. So this is all we have here. In this way, Mati, Smriti, Sangya, Chinta and Abhinamod are all progressive stages or manifestation of evolving sensory knowledge. Okay. So after you come to inference, the next step is self-realization. Okay. So initial is memory, recognition, then reasoning, inference. And after inference, it is self-realization. Okay. So this is the process that goes on in sensory knowledge. And before the memory, what are the four steps? Initial grasp or apprehension, curiosity, judgment, and the fourth one, retention. So whatever comes up to retention gets into memory. Whatever gets into memory goes towards recognition. What goes to recognition goes to reasoning, and what goes to reasoning goes to inference. Okay. And after inference, self-realization happens. So this is the process of sensory knowledge, which is working all the time, round the clock. Okay. Such a automatic thing, you know, the human mind. So now we have to refer to the another copy that I shared with you, page number 45 onwards. Darshit, I shared another page 45 to 54, I think.
Sorry, let me just check on it because I have not downloaded it.
Yesterday, I think.
Yeah, I haven't downloaded it.
So it will take a few seconds only to download. Very small part, you know. And
Oh,
words,
yeah, yeah, I've
words
seen
file,
it.
yeah, words file are downloaded very fast. So now the next topic is instrumentality of the sense and the mind. Okay. In sensory knowledge, which includes mati. Mati was sensory cognition. Then smriti, memory. Then recognition. Then reasoning. And then inference. The senses and the mind serve as instrumental causes. This is discussed in the following aphorism. 14 number. Tad indriya indriya nimittam. The mind and senses are instrumental in sensory knowledge. It should be noted that among the 5 divisions of sensory knowledge, only the first, direct perception, mati, sensory cognition, involves both the senses and the mind as instrumental causes. Okay. In the remaining 4, that is memory, recognition, reasoning, and inference, only the mind functions as the instrument. The senses are not involved. Okay, so out of the first 5 steps, only one involved senses. The next 4 involves only mind. So everything is happening on the mind all the time. Question. Is it necessary for senses and mind to be instrumental in sensory knowledge? It is not absolutely necessary. However, when the soul, through sensory knowledge, knows material substances, okay, the material substances like the one who has got sense, touch, taste, smell, okay, these are called material substances. When it transforms into knowledge-based psychic modifications, okay, so when the soul through sensory knowledge knows material substance, when it transforms into knowledge-based psychic modification directed towards such objects, then the senses and mind certainly functions as instruments. Okay. So when it transforms into knowledge-based psychic modification, that is what the vehicle that goes on in the mind, psychic thoughts, you know, directed towards such objects, then the senses and mind certainly function as instruments. Okay.
Sorry, I'm not able to share it, so it might cause a bit of disruption. If somebody else can share it, that would be great.
So I will make you a co-host, Aditi. So the question was, is it necessary for senses and mind to be instrumental in sensory knowledge? Most of the time, it is through senses and mind that the sensory knowledge works. Okay. But here it is written, it is not absolutely necessary. So, like when you are experiencing the soul, okay, then just before the experience, you are using the mind as a medium, right? And yeah, so this is here. So this is the question. Is it necessary for senses and mind to be instrumental in sensory knowledge? Take it further, yeah. And can you enlarge this or it won't be? I think this is the maximum, right? So you have to change here. This is 14, no? That you have to change and you have to select the whole and then you have to change it.
So can you repeat what I need to do? So I'll do it and send
So
you.
here you can see one size. Size is given of the letters, 14. Now it is 14.
So this, if I change this further, it won't fit on the page.
That I know. That will be fine.
Yeah, this is the max, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine. This is quite okay.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay. As you already know, further up, yeah. As you already know, the senses are capable of grasping only the 5 types of physical objects: touch, taste, smell, color, and sound. The mind is instrumental in generating the psychic modifications associated with those perceptions. Okay. So senses only knows touch, taste, smell, color, and sound. Okay. But the mind is instrumental in generating the matter substance as well as non-matter substance. Okay. Tangible substance and intangible substance. Okay. Therefore, when the soul knows non-tangible amurtik substances, especially when it becomes self-aware, Atma Sanmukh, then the senses and mind are not instrumental. Okay. So when it is just realizing the self, at that point of time, senses and mind are not instrumental. But before that, senses and mind are always instrumental. So when you are in the process of realizing yourself, when you are in the moment of self-experience, at that point of time, senses and mind stops functioning. Man pave vishram. Okay. So at the time of self-realization, mind is not functioning at that point of time. So the experience is beyond mind. Okay. It is a universally accepted principle that the senses and mind can only function as instruments in knowing tangible, okay, rupee objects, not non-tangible, okay. However, the scope of sensory knowledge includes all 6 substances and some of their modes, modifications. Take it further up. Hence, sensory knowledge is possible even without the involvement of the senses and mind. Otherwise, how would one ever experience self-realization? Okay. So sensory knowledge is possible even without the involvement of the sense and mind, and that is the time you realize yourself. How would one ever experience self-realization? Atmanubhuti. That is beyond the senses and beyond mental psychic thoughts. Okay. So at the time of self-realization, senses and mind doesn't work. But before, just immediately before that, mind is working. Okay. In the mind only, the thoughts are coming about the soul, that I am eternally pure, I am complete in myself, I am a mass of infinite attributes. All this thought activity goes on, and then the self-realization happens and this thought stops. Okay. Now we will discuss the 4 steps again, Augra, Iha, Avai, Dharna in detail. Okay. So what was Augraha? Apprehension. Then curiosity. Then judgment. And then retention. Okay. So this is why we are discussing right now. So you can change the meanings if you want, or Darshitji, you can do at your end and later on can share in the group. Okay. So Aditi ji, let not be disturbed. You leave it.
No, I can do it, sir. It's okay.
Acha, you can do it.
Yeah, no, this is a word copies and word I can do.
Acha, this is a word file. Okay. So you have to see from the, okay, I'm just mentioning it. Apprehension. Curiosity. Judgment. Retention. Cancel everything. Let's try. Retention. One N. Yes. Good. Now we explain how sensory knowledge develops step by step. The following aphorism clarifies this process. Avgraha iha avyav dharna. So this is aphorism number 15. With the aid of ocular and non-ocular perception, Chakshudarshan, Achakshudarshan. Chakshudarshan is ocular, through eyes is ocular, and non-ocular, without the rest of the 4 senses, is non-ocular perception. With the aid of ocular and non-ocular perception, sensory knowledge develops in 4 stages. Okay. Sensory knowledge develops in 4 stages. Again, you have to write those names. Apprehension. About general knowledge. Yes, here. Initial grasp and all. You just write English, don't write Hindi names also. Cancel everything. Curiosity. Yes. Very good. Now we have remembered all the 4. So general knowledge that arises through ocular or non-ocular perception is called initial perception, Augraha. For example, knowing this is a human being is called as Augraha. Now the second step, the effort to investigate more detail, the curiosity, okay, about what has been roughly perceived by the ocular and non-ocular perception is called curiosity. You have to change here also, curiosity. Yes. Then, for instance, recognizing someone as a human, the mind may inquire, but is he a civilian or a foreigner? This inquisitive knowledge that seeks specification is called iha. Okay, curiosity. The next, third and fourth together. Reaching a definite conclusion, judgment. As a result, let it be, definite conclusion, let it be. As a result of the effort in inquiry is called, here it is written decision. Okay. So spelling is wrong, but they meant decision. So judgment is better word. Is called judgment. You write down judgment. And when that conclusion is not forgotten over time, it is called retention. In this way, initial perception, inquiry, all these again we have to change, and memory of tangible objects arising with the help of the senses and the non-sensory, that is mind, all these are progressively developing modes of sensory knowledge. In this sensory knowledge, after the initial perception, that is mati, we have written sensory cognition for mati. Then memory, then recognition, reasoning, and inference. Inferential knowledge occurs. These are all different names for sensory knowledge, mati gyan. Moreover, the first transformation of sensory knowledge is referred to as sensory or sensory knowledge itself. Therefore, special attention should be paid to the context in which the term sensory or sensory knowledge is used. So, under Mati Gyan, the first distinction is itself Mati. So, one is a larger Mati Gyan, and in that there is again a Mati Gyan. So, in what context it is used, that we have to see. So, now the next sutra coming up, 16th sutra. The elements that are subject matter of initial perception, that is apprehension, augraha. Those substances which are known through sensory perception, inquiry, etc. are of 12 types. The related aphorisms are as follows. Okay. Bahu Bahu Vidya Shipra Nishartha Anukta Dhruvanam Setaranam Arthasya. The 6 types of substances. So what are the 6 types? Many, manifold, swift, non-originated, unexpressed, and permanent. These are 6 along with their opposites. So many opposite is 1. Manifold of a single kind. Swift, not swift. Non-originated, originated. Unexpressed, expressed. Permanent, impermanent. Together constitute the 12 types of substances that are known in Mati Gyan through the sensory knowledge, beginning with apprehension, etc. Apprehensions, etc. Okay. These classifications, such as many and so on, are distinctions of substance. The knowledge that comprehends these distinctions in the prescribed manner is called sensory knowledge. Okay. The nature of this 12 distinction is summarized as follows. Many means a lot. It can be understood from the perspective of number or quantity. So many means either number or quantity. For example, many people refer to numbers, while a lot of lentils refers to quantity. Lentil is dal, you know dal. The second one is one or a few, means a little or small in number or amount. These two can be viewed in two ways, in terms of number, such as few people or one person, and in terms of quantity, such as little lentils or one substance. The third one is of many kinds, refers to substance of many types in terms of number and quantity. For example, various types of grains like wheat, lentils, etc. Of one kind refers to a substance of a single type in terms of number and quantity. For example, one kind of rice. So for next fifth one, the next page. In many and one, the classification by category, that is jati, or species is not considered, whereas in many kinds and of one kind, the category is considered. This is the difference between these two pairs. Okay, so it seems that many and many kinds are same, but no, it is not the same. There is a slight difference between the two. The next is swift, not swift. Swift refers either to the quick cognition of substance or to the knowledge of objects that move very rapidly. For example, the knowledge of a person moving at high speed. Not swift refers to the knowledge of substance that occurs gradually, or the knowledge or objects that move slowly. Not emerged means not revealed.
G, excuse me, which one should we follow? Right, if it is fifth means they are saying that you are understanding the substance quickly, am I right?
No, swift means that the object is moving at a high speed.
But they are given that quick cognition of substance. What does it mean, G, then?
Cognition means knowing. So for example, the knowledge of...
Therefore, you are understanding that substance fast, am I right?
Yes, so Subhaji, it is the opposite of what you said. Swift is a movement and understanding, learning is fast. Cognition is your learning ability to.
So I'm saying that you are learning that substance fast.
Yes.
Am I
So
right?
quick
yeah, so quick
cognition
and
of
rapid is
substance.
referred to your learning and swift is referred to your movement.
So the quick cognition of substance or to the knowledge of objects. Okay. So you are sometimes you know it very fast, sometimes you learn it very slow. That is what they
Okay, that is one. The other one is you are learning about the substance which is moving fast.
No, it's not about the substance moving fast. It is about the learning that you are doing. Okay. Some objects we learn very fast and sometimes we are slow. So that is what.
But they are given, no, they are given it
So
like that.
these 12 are different divisions of the sensory knowledge. And with permutation and combination, it will become, I think, 336. Yeah, 336 different types of sensory knowledge. Okay. So not swift refers to the knowledge of substance that occurs gradually, or the knowledge of objects that move slowly. Not emerge means not revealed. A substance that remains completely hidden is called not emerge. And even if a part of it remains hidden, it is still referred to as non-emerged. Okay. For example,
So,
now,
sir, I think move should be changed to changing. It is not movement of the object. What Madam was saying is right. It is not about moving at high speed. It is changing at high speed. Could be the context, right? It is not about a car moving fast. It is about some
how
things.
fast you are able to comprehend the substance.
That is fine. That refers to the first part. Quick cognition of the subject.
Yes.
Substance is our quick grasping of the substance.
Yes,
But the
yes.
knowledge of the objects that move very rapidly. That move is not actual physical move. Rather, I think that it could be changing very fast.
Yes.
Paryay change. Yeah.
Yes. That could be right. Right. So, example, if an element is completely submerged in a river and one becomes aware of its presence by observing the mosquitoes hovering over the water surface, such knowledge is considered not emerged. Take it up, Aditi. Not emerged. Anisrut. Sensory knowledge, mati gyan. Okay. Similarly, if only the elephant's trunk emerges from the river and the knowledge gained is not just of the trunk, but of the whole elephant along with the trunk, it is still considered not emerged. And the next example would be of emerged. Means revealed or emerged. When the entire elephant has come out of the river and is fully visible, the knowledge of it is called emerged sensory knowledge. Okay, emerged sensory knowledge. Now, unspoken refers to a substance that remains implicit or has not been verbally expressed. For example, when the eye perceives salt or sugar and at the same time there is awareness of its taste, that knowledge is considered unspoken knowledge. Then spoken refers to a substance that has been expressed or described. For example, this fruit is sweet. So expressed and unexpressed. Now the last one, stable, unstable. Refers to a substance. Stable refers to a substance that remain for a long time, or the continued cognition of a substance in the same form over a period of time. Such sustained knowledge is called stable sensory knowledge. Unstable is the opposite of stable. These 12 types are the distinctions of those substances which are known through sensory knowledge. Okay. So this 12 and the combination again we will see there. The description is given. Not here it is given. Yeah. So total will become 336. So it's given in the letter on, and that we will continue next week. So we are just 16, 17 we have completed. So we'll start with page number 49. Yes. So we'll start with page number 49. We'll continue with that, and next week maybe we are able to complete 49, 50. I think 68 pages we have to cover. So I think it will take one more week. No problem. Okay. Any questions on today? You just go through it once, and you could also refer to the earlier book that we had shared about the charts, So from the charts, you can make out it very easily. But anyways, you can read also this one. And if there is any doubt, you can get back to me personally. We can discuss and understand. Okay. So this is basically the process of sensory knowledge. So as I said, you have.
Gia, I have a doubt there. I learned in some book that Mati, Smriti, Samja, they are synonyms of sensory knowledge. Am I right?
Yes, it is mentioned here also. We also read it here just now.
Okay.
But they are synonyms, means it doesn't mean the same. They are part of sensory knowledge. The whole process is taking place in sensory knowledge. Scriptural knowledge we have not touched yet. We are just discussing sensory knowledge, mati gyan. And in this mati gyan, all this process keeps on happening all the time. Okay. So as I said, in a laptop or a computer, there is a processor. Here again in our Mati Gyan, there is a processor which is doing all these processes. So if you understand this process, then you will become absolutely relaxed, once you understand this full process. Maybe we will try to touch that next week. If you work little bit, read this chapter again, and also refer to the dictionary that I shared yesterday, page number 130. Okay, there also this process is explained, so maybe you will be able to get it from there, or otherwise I will next week I will give you an example and explain you the whole process. Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी